The for loop structure is a bit different from the while structure. We basically have initialization, we have condition, we have increment or decrement. The condition part, that's what we are testing if you look at our flow chart. Basically what happens is that if the condition is met, it's only when we have the statement or statements executed that lie within the body of the for loop. Now, if the condition is met, again, I'm saying that is if it evaluates to true, we execute the statement and then loop over again, test the condition. If it evaluates to true, execute the statement or statements, loop again until such a time that the condition is not met, is only when we exit this particular loop. Now, if you look at it, we have three items here. We have initialization, we have condition, and then we have increment. Initialization can be as simple as just saying int x is equals to 0. Increment can basically just be x plus plus or x minus minus. That's what we refer to as the decrement and the increment. So let's jump into coding and write a few Java programs to demonstrate the concept. So we go back to our project, learn Java basics, and we can use this package com.lesson.2. So right click on it, then go to class. Okay, let's give our class a name. We can call it for loop example. Using the camel case there. And we want it to be created with the main method. We check that box and then we click finish. There we have our class and the main method. So straight away, the best approach for us to learn how to work with for loop is to answer a few questions. So we'll be answering the 5 questions that you're seeing on the top there. So straight away we go to for loop. We say the first thing we have there is initialization. So we initialize x, we declare x and we initialize to 0. Then we have the condition should be, we can say x less than 10, less than or equal 10, then semicolon, and then we have an increment there. So we can output and see what we are going to get. We have our x there. Control Shift F, okay. Save and then run. There. But we have a 0 output. We do not want 0 to be part of the output, so we can adjust that to 1. And for purpose of ensuring that we have spacing, we can concatenate that, or well, the best approach we can do is have a tab there for uniform spacing. There it is. So that's the answer to the first question there. So this has demonstrated how we can basically use the for loop to output values from 1 to 10. Now the second question is to output from 10 to 1. We do a little bit of adjustments here. We change the condition to greater than, you must change to greater than 0 to avoid infinite loop. And of course this one now becomes a decrement. Let's save and run. There, it's working. Okay, number 3, output of odd numbers. Okay, if we want to output an odd number, what do we do? Okay, this is an approach that you can use, though not efficient. Say +2, and we change that, and then we also do change that to 10. Okay, let's see if it's going to work. There. So this is one way that you can be able to do it with very few statements, but I don't like using x is equals to x plus 2 as increment, especially in a loop. So the best approach is for us to make use of let's introduce a decision structure. If x and then modulo 2 not equal, remember this is not equal to 0. If we do a division of the value that is being held by x and it does not result to a 0, then that implies that is an odd number. Let's test it out. Make sure the curly braces are enough. We open and we close. So let's run it. There. So this is the best approach to use when you want to check whether a value that has been entered is either odd or even. So for even, we remove that and we make it equals to 0. If we subdivide by 2, there is no remainder, then that implies that is an even number. Let's try it out. Save and run. There. So these are the even numbers that would lie between or from 1 to 10. So we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. Now that has answered our question number 4. So we move on to the last question here. The last question says that we need to write a program that will output a multiplication table, that is a 10 by 10 multiplication table. So how do we go about it? What we need to do is we need to come up with a nested loop. That is, one loop is inside another loop. So this implies that we need to introduce another loop. Okay, and basically just copy that one and then just paste it there. Paste it there. So what we have? Okay, we have the closing, the closing, the closing. Okay. So we need to change this. We can change it to something like what? We need to change this and declare a j instead of an x. J. Yeah, there we have j. We have x, a loop for x and a loop for j. So what we need to do right now is come up with a way, since it is a multiplication table, we can say x multiplied by j. Yeah, x multiplied by j, then we can do a concatenation there. And then of course what we need to do is find a way to take it to the next line, and for that reason system.out.println, that's what we are going to need. ln takes us to the next line, and then it can be an empty output. It will basically go to the next line. Okay, anything that I'm missing? I think everything's okay. Let's save and run it. There. So you can see it is here. We have a multiplication table. Yeah, it is here for 1 to 10. We said we needed 1 to 10, so let's add that and then add also that. Okay, save and run. There it is, 1 to 10, 10 by 10. So if you check it out, it's really working. 5 times 2 gives us a 10. 6 times 4 is a 24. 10 by 5, 50. So there, as easy as that. You can be able to get some of these solutions by nesting loops. So you can actually nest loops and do some remarkable work with loops, especially the for loop. Okay, let's catch up in the next video. Bye bye for now.